Welcome to Tech Abilities, produced live in the Blind Abilities studio. I want to thank all of you for listening and for sending in your feedback. It's well appreciated. And if you want to send us some feedback, give us a call at 612-367-6093. Leave a message. We'd love to hear from you. Or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Be sure to check out the show notes for all the tech tidbits and news that we cover in this episode. So without further ado, let's get this show started.
And just so you know, when I say I may delve into something, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
PCs don't do that, Jeff.
Here's a quick demo of going into your rotor and organizing your actions.
And then go to text selection and say either word or line or page even. And then you can just copy. It's a more accessible way to do copy and paste.
That should be safe enough where I could sign up for the beta test. Okay.
The link and I make it hyperactive. And yeah, so
Hyperactive.
Hyperlink.
Okay, these are definitely two tips that I will take a look at and actually use.
Silly wabbit. Here we go. Live from the Blind Ability Studio, I'm Jeff Thompson, and this is Tech Abilities. And with me in the studio, we have Serina Gilbert. Serina, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jeffrey. How are you?
I'm pretty good. It's Serina. I wish you had a little more I could add to that.
I don't have a nickname, so.
Sir. Just call you sir.
No.
We're going to have to come up with a name for you. Serenity.
Ooh, good one.
Serenity.
And right there's Callie Gray down there in Miami. Welcome.
Welcome. If you wanted a nickname for me, people who really hate me, they call me Callie May, and I hate that name. So, but don't ever call me.
Is that from the farm?
There would be people at work who would call me Callie May, and I'm like, oh God, why? But you know, I take it as a term of endearment.
There's a lot of stuff happening. The NFB convention is going on, and the ACB virtual. If you got a chance to see that, it was both really, but a lot of breaking news coming out from both of them. And I'm sure there's a lot more to come, especially when people get their hands on this stuff at the exhibit halls. And we just had Jennine Stanley from Aira came on. She's the director of communications, and she came on and talked all about it and made some great announcements. The first thing that she talked about was Aira on the desktop. And to me, that's kind of exciting because there's a lot of use cases that I could see for that, especially like with Teams Viewer. You can message on there and you got a steady camera. Main thing, your hands free.
I love the idea of Aira on the desktop specifically for work activities. I don't have to kind of move to a different device just to still have them remote into my computer. I can just do it all straight from like where I'm already at. And that's a time saver. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah. And that's on the Mac, the PC, and the iPad. So that's quite the reach right there. I don't think they're leaving anybody out.
It makes me think that it'll also work on an Android tablet since it's just like web-based, but who knows? But then maybe there's a reason they didn't say that, and also Android tablets.
I'm excited about it. The other thing that they mentioned is that it's going to be hands-free on a couple devices, which is kind of interesting. The ARX headset, which has a camera and it has bone conduction speakers on it, and the versatility of that.
I wish, because the ARX is, from the way they described it, and I don't know the price for sure. Somebody in the webinar mentioned that it's about $1,300 for that ARX headset. I just wish, and I know that they've hinted about Envision AI and a partnership coming in August for that, which would be wireless. But I wish there was a solution like the ARX, because those are not, over your eyes, because I'm sensitive to things being over my eyes. It just makes me feel like I don't have as good of use of the usable vision that I do have. And I feel like it makes me stand out more. Whereas this headset, it almost seems like kind of, if somebody looked at you, they would just think you were wearing headphones. So it's a little bit more discreet, but it's corded. Right now, it connects via USB-C to an Android device. And
they said that at the end of the year, they believe they'll be going towards the iOS availability.
Yeah, that's correct. I did say that.
The BlindShell phone, that's actually a tactile phone that has a lot of other features on it. And one of the features is they'll load Aira onto it. So that'll be typical of a smartphone, but it's not a smartphone. It has tactile buttons, and you should check that out on BlindShell. We'll put a link in there A lot of people that don't want the convolutedness of trying to learn a smartphone, maybe a certain age, maybe something else. But the BlindShell is getting more popular and more things are being added to it all the time.
Callie, have you had a chance to play with like a BlindShell phone or anything? Does anyone have that at the Lighthouse?
No, I've never seen one. I've heard good things about it, though, for people who like tactile buttons and stuff like that. But I haven't seen one, but it's great for those who enjoy that kind of feature.
Mm-hmm. Well, most of this stuff is coming out, except for the Envision, by the end of July. And they're going to start beta testing, a limited beta testing. And you can go to Aira.io/choice and learn everything about the Aira Everywhere campaign that's going on. And you too could become part of the team that is beta testing these, making and improving them for all of the blindness community. So that's exciting for people to get involved.
Can I ask you a question about the beta test?
Yes.
Since I've never beta tested anything, like I don't beta test the iOS operating systems, but since this is not an operating system, is it safe to put on my MacBook?
It's not anything you actually put on. It's just a website.
Oh, that's all it is. Okay. I thought it was like an app or something you had to put on your computer.
Nope, it's just a website.
Okay. So that should be safe enough where I could sign up for the beta test. Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And that's what they mean about Aira Everywhere, is because wherever you take your laptop, boom, you have it. Your iPad, boom, you have it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus coming to multiple devices. Aira's everywhere. Kind of neat. And like Serina said about the workplace, that's cumbersome when you do have to break away, get on the phone, do this, then go right back to your screen. So it's seamless. That's a big thing.
I'm excited.
I know we're all excited for the fall to come, but Apple preempted that a little bit by dropping it by about $50, your trade-in value on your phone. So if you're thinking on getting a new phone right now, your value of your trade-in just dropped a little bit. I saw that the iPhone 12 Pro Max went from $650 to $600.
That's still a really good trade-in value. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That could be for the 0.5 terabyte storage.
Yeah, that's true.
Once you lock in on your exact one, it's always like,
it's like $350 or something.
Yeah. Well, they do charge a lot for storage, so.
They do.
I suppose the memory and the chips are something that they really want to recycle and repurpose.
Yeah. To trade in or not to trade in, where do you stand on that, Jeff?
I don't. Right now, I won't, because I want my 12 Pro Max to become my beta tester. When I do upgrade, I won't trade in. I paid too much for it and I'd get too little for it. Seems like a waste.
And I don't trade mine any either. I think I sold back when, was it Gazelle? Yeah, Gazelle, you used to be able to sell your phones and they actually gave you really good. It was just straight cash that they gave you when you would sell your phones to them. But that was way back, gosh, when I upgraded from the 4S. That was the last phone I think I sold, that I can remember.
And to all those listeners, cash, it's a currency. It's a tender that we used to use.
Greenbacks.
I guess it was, I think it was via PayPal, but what I mean, like, cause like with the Apple stuff, when you trade it in, they're not, if I recall, they're not giving you cash. They're giving you like an Apple gift card or credit towards your next phone. Correct?
Yeah. Credit towards it. Like that's what I do. I guess I am the only sucker because I always trade in whenever I switch to a new phone. I'm just weary of people like, selling something on Craigslist and meeting somebody and somewhere to do a trade to sell it. I just don't do that. I'd rather do it safely from my apartment, mail it back to Apple, get the credit towards the new phone and be done with it.
See, I always like to have a backup device and they've come on handy a few times when we were still on the iPhone 6 kind of cycle. My husband cracked his screen not once, but twice. So when he cracked the first one, I believe I gave him my backup, but then he cracked that one too. So
Chucky.
He did just, I can't remember if he ended up getting 2 screens repaired or just one. I can't remember because it happened all within like a few weeks. It wasn't even like months. It was like a few weeks apart. So us having that backup phone enabled him to switch his SIM card over or whatever. So he could still have a phone to use without risk of cutting his finger. I just always strongly feel it's always good to have that backup. I do like to beta test. So
I guess I'm just freewheeling it because I never had a backup. And
I've never broken my phone or anything either. Like I've not cracked a screen once or anything, but you never know.
Oh, I have cracked my phone. I was doing some work in the backyard once and the phone, it was in an OtterBox case also, but it fell correctly on this one stone and the screen shattered. But, I kept that phone and my fingers bled. I didn't care. I wasn't going to buy a new phone yet. So I was the person rocking the phone with the cracked screen there for a while. It did not bother me.
I broke a microphone once in a phone, and it was the microphone that you use for dictation, which is up by the earpiece, I believe. This is a while back. But when I brought it in, the guy said, yeah, there's microphones here, and then
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they brought it back in.
I thought there was just the one.
That's what I thought.
Maybe that's why all of our dictation's all messed up now, because we are all using the bottom of the phone. That's interesting.
But I think this was back during the 6 or something like that. So
there's probably even more microphones now. It's probably multiplied.
Far field.
Because what did the AirPod Maxes have? Didn't they have like 8 or 9 microphones on those headphones?
Oh, yeah. 7 at least. I mean, you got the HomePod, the original HomePod. That has some far field microphones on it to make it sound the best per room that you put it in. The Apple Watch Series 8, kind of interesting. It'll be able to tell if you have a fever.
It's rumored to be able to tell.
Oh, yeah. We don't
Rumor has
talk about rumors. We're taking a chance. We're going to say it is. No, I have no idea. I mean, it seems like the Apple Watch to me has really expanded on the health features, all the way from fitness to a doctor could actually open up your phone and get some information, and all these other health apps can tap into it, and you can have quite a bit of information that's usable.
I'm excited for the fever detection piece, especially for our community. I know it says still take your temperature, blah, blah, blah. But we all know we have the talking thermometers, but
yeah.
You can take your temperature 3 different times within 5 seconds of each other and get 3 different readouts.
Yeah, you keep moving across your forehead to different spots.
It's always, and I know that it's normal to have some variance, but sometimes it's like 2 degrees difference.
Yeah, can you imagine your watch going off saying either you got a fever or you're on a first date? But it's interesting. I like the fitness stuff, the health thing. My watch went off today while we were at dinner, and it said I only did 3% of my exercise. And I quickly
you.
I put my hand right over the top of it, like, come on, man.
Was it talking out loud?
And did you push away the dessert?
No. I was.
You ordered a double one.
No, it's one of those times where we're going out. So I grabbed my watch because earlier I was doing stuff. It's been so humid here. Woke up this morning. It was all foggy. And it feels like you're walking into like earth. Had that earthy smell, and it was foggy. It was muggy, and just, ooh. And like Sandhya said, I could cut it like a knife.
Yeah. They're violent and down in Texas.
Yeah. So if you really want to get accurate reading with your exercise and your health stuff, you should actually put that watch on first thing in the morning. But sometimes, it just doesn't happen. The app library, I see this article, and it comes up once in a while. A lot of people don't realize they have the app library. It's at the end of your pages. If you find like page 1 of 3, 1 of 4, 1 of 15 or something like that, swipe to the very end, go one more, and there's your app library. The biggest use that I use my app library for is when I download a new app, or I re-download it because I got rid of it and I thought, maybe I'll give it a try again. It'll put it wherever it kind of wants. It should go to the back page, bottom. But if you have a page that only has a couple of things on it, it might slide it in there. So if you go to your library, the second grouping will be recently downloaded. The first grouping is the most used apps that you use. And then the second one is the most recently downloaded. So that's where I go find it. And then I can put it where I want it by doing the drag and drop. Oof.
Yeah, that's because you've got like 20 pages of apps.
Wow, it's growing. It's growing.
I have 2. So when I download a new app, it goes to page 2 at the bottom somewhere, and then I can move it into one of the folders. I haven't checked out the app library, but it may be something I may, delve into. And just so you know, when I say I may delve into something, I'm not going to do it. Just so you know. So in the future, Jeff, if you ever hear me say on the podcast, I'm going to delve into that a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
That's so funny. You don't have to share all your secrets, Callie.
Yeah, really.
I'm putting it all out there. I'm laying it all on the table.
I'm that guy at convention that stands on the corner going, need any apps? Anybody need any apps?
There are just like a few apps that I use all the time. And then there are others that never see the light of day. But I don't use that feature on iPhone where they can offload unused apps. Because like one of my medical apps, I only use it once a year to go in. So I don't want to offload that. So I turn that setting off. I just don't want something that I don't use all the time to all of a sudden not be there when I need it.
Oh, yeah. I understand it. If you only have 3-4 pages of apps, you can control them easily, monitor monitor them, and you're keeping it to a minimum. Me, I'm kind of a hoarder. I have so many like GPS opportunities or the OCR stuff that used to work, doesn't work. What was that one, that Bespecular?
Oh,
Bespecular, it definitely does not work anymore. I've tried it multiple times. It definitely doesn't work anymore.
But it was interesting for many years.
It used to work so well. I loved it.
I didn't want to get rid of it.
What was that?
So you could take a picture of something and then you'd send it out, and there's volunteers. You could ask a question or whatever and they would describe it. Like I used it a lot when I would be shopping, like on a app or something. I'd be like, can you describe this dress? Or does this dress have horizontal stripes or vertical stripes? And they can respond with like a recording or like a typed response. And once when I did it, one of my actual friends responded. She was like, hey, it's Michelle. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I don't know if it just doesn't work anymore. Like I'm guessing they just never updated the app to be kind of compatible, because you go and you try to put pictures and it just never uploads anywhere.
Well, I met them at the ACB convention when it was here in Minneapolis, and they were just a couple booths down from me. And one was from South Africa, the other from, I'm going to say Belgium or something like that, Denmark. And they were going to the same college, and that was their project. And to tell you the truth, for embarking upon something that a lot of other companies were just coming out to, they did a great job.
Wow. That app actually sounds pretty cool. I hope somebody picks it up and refreshes it.
Well, I think Be My Eyes is the closest thing to it, but it's a little bit different because you're actually communicating with someone.
Holding the camera, and
yeah.
Because I've used Aira for that. I haven't used Be My Eyes for that.
I've used Be My Eyes in a pinch. I just feel awkward. Like, I don't know. Be My Eyes to me just feels different than when you use Aira,
It does, doesn't it, Serina? Yeah. I just feel different using Be My Eyes. It's a great service, though.
Here's the thing. It's like you're waiting for a train, and Be My Eyes seems like you just turn to someone and say, do you know what number the next train is?
Exactly.
They don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But if you call the train thing and get the answer, that's like calling Aira. They'll say, the next train's coming is the blah, 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 according to the schedule.
Yeah, very different.
But I would like a feature, and I dropped this was this 2 years ago when you interviewed Troy and I was on with?
Mm-hmm. Troy Atelio.
And I was like, I would really like it if we could just send a picture when it's something non-urgent, and we get a nice response to a description of whatever picture we submitted.
That would be pretty cool.
It's like, for something that's just not urgent, where it's like, I'm going to be cooking tonight. Is this Bisquick or Jif Mix? Whatever, so something just that's not quite as urgent, where maybe it's in a queue somewhere for them to respond within, 2 hours or something, I don't know. It'd be really cool.
But you're going to be waiting to make your pancakes for 2 hours? Come on. No, I'm just kidding.
And I think it's probably been backburnered. He never said like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to do that. Like, I think it's just with the staff shortages and stuff that everyone's experiencing, probably figuring out the business model for something like that would be hard to know how to do.
Yeah.
There's some announcements coming out from ACB. Rachel Feinberg from Humanware announced that the Stiller Trek, it's a new device, is coming out. There's no prices on it, and availability, we don't know when. However, it's a standalone GPS unit, about the size of a deck of cards, and has 2 cameras on it, so it'll be able to do OCR, door detection. Yeah. What do you think of these proprietary type of devices?
I think there's a market for it. And the only reason I say that is during my time at the Miami Lighthouse, during our independent living management classes that we had, they tried to sell us on so many proprietary equipment, like color detectors.
Probably the money identifiers, the iBill.
Yeah, but there are things I can use on my phone to do that. I don't like to have a whole bunch of separate items. If my iPhone can do it, I'd rather just have that. I mean, the one thing they did sell me on, and I actually love this, is the Victor Reader Stream. I do. I'm like, sometimes, I'm probably in the minority, but I really do love that little gadget. But there are a lot of people who like having individual things for a certain task, and there are a lot of people who have iPhones, Jeff, Serina, I'm sure who don't really know how to use their smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, having something individual that's tailored to what they need, that probably will work for them, because there were people who were very excited about these individual, pieces of equipment.
What I liked about it a little bit was the OCR had quick reads. That's something that we have in a couple other apps where it'll read text the moment you turn it on, start reading. Then it had detailed reading where it gives you the orientation, left, right, up, down to take your picture and stuff. And I heard from David Goldfield, he did a blog on it. I heard it's pretty accurate at that point. He said the quick read takes a lot of pictures and starts going. And he said that wasn't as accurate, but I don't know. Door detection. It would have been nice to hear a demo of that. I mean, iOS 16 is rumored to have door detection. I've heard people talk about it on the betas, so interesting thing. Like the Victor Reader Stream, I thought it was a great device. I don't use it. That's just me, though. Some people like having that separate from their phone to get away from their phone, in a sense, because most of the time it's by the bedside, that type of thing, or during travel. They download it to it, and boom, they're ready to go.
Can I just be honest with you? One of the reasons I like my Victor Reader Stream, and this just could be a mental issue with me, I associate that with my blindness. That's where my blindness podcasts are. That's where information downloaded from my teacher at the Lighthouse. He has things that he has on the computer that I can plug in the Victor Reader Stream and get all of his lessons on there. So to me, that's like my blindness
tool,
gadget, my blindness tool. And on my iPhone are my podcasts for like my fun and, regular podcasts, not blindness related.
So what you're saying is blindness is not fun.
Oh God! If we're gonna have this discussion, that's gonna be a whole
throwing it
new
down
show.
Right now. I'm throwing
that's
it
gonna
down.
be a whole new. No, blindness is not fun. And I know, like, there are people. I think I have heard about blind pride and stuff like that, and I'm not there, and I don't know if I'll ever get there because I'm bitter about losing my vision. I am. I'm not happy with my current situation because I just feel like losing my vision really evicted me from my life and the expectations that I had for my life.
I like that. Evicted me from my life. Wow.
It did. It just felt, I just got evicted. I'm not in the same place where I was in April of 2020, but I'm not too far away from it, at the same time. I'm not.
Well, that's normal. You got every right to be. I mean, I'm sure someone that loses a limb or something, it still gets out of bed thinking they can walk or something for a split second, that split second, that, hesitation. When I was at the Apple store today, I didn't look around because I can't look around like that, Mm-hmm. It's just different. I went in there for...
You didn't wander from table to table?
Well, I wanted to get a set of 2 new medium tips for my AirPods Pro. And I went in there, $8. Boom, I'm out of there. Not too many people come out of the Apple store only spending $8.
No, that never happened.
Found the cheapest thing in the store. I don't think there's anything else that is priced at $8 or less. I can't think of anything. I thought the cheapest thing was like $20. So
yeah,
I'm impressed.
Yeah, you did good, Jeff.
Yeah, and I was surprised that you could buy just one size and they had a pack of 2. And still, they killed half a tree to package that thing,
I'm sure it was such a pain to get open.
Oh, yeah. Actually, it wasn't sealed. So I could open the flap up, slide this thing out, and then they have the paper go inside the tab,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to kind of pull that up, lift it up, lift one side up. Nope. Then
just like they packaged the AirPods.
I was sitting there like I was actually defusing a bomb.
And you could never get everything back in there too. Like when you're like, okay, let me put everything back in here so it's nice and neat. Never goes back in the way that it came
I was waiting for 4 girls shopping. So I had time. I did get it back together, but they were up looking for clothing and stuff and I had time. So I just sat there in one comfy chair in the mall and that's what I was doing. Fold this, bend this back, fold that.
Like, is this what old men do in the mall now?
No, they're mall walkers.
They don't
Serina.
walk in anymore. They just sit at the chair and play with Apple packaging.
Well, this older guy said to me, "No, you bend it back that way." Yeah. It was really neat to walk in there. And I did actually, while I was waiting, we waited at this certain table, and I reached down and I touched this keyboard and I reached up and I could make out the monitor. I said, "Is that the Studio?" He said, "Yeah, that's the new Mac Studio." And then the guy came out with the part and it was like, whew, I got out for $8.
If he had let you sit there for about 15 more minutes, you might have been having a whole different topic on this podcast.
Really? Or did you turn on voiceover before you left and like just try to figure out how to turn it off?
Oh, no. Yeah, walk through and turn on voiceover
on all the machines.
Actually, I have a 27-inch Mac sitting in front of me. And the new iMac Studio screen, the monitor, it's isolated alone with a stand, like two legs coming down. Whereas with a Mac, the computer's built into it. So it's a little bulkier and stuff. And it kind of has a big base because that's everything there. And this just looked like a very lean 27-inch monitor. That's all it is, really. But it has some nice speakers in it, I guess. And I didn't demo it or anything like that. But I was underwhelmed with the big hype. I mean, $1,600 for that. And yet,
but it was 27 inches though.
Yeah.
Do they really only start at 1,500? I would have thought that was more like a 2,400 start.
Well, no, that's just for the monitor. That's not the computer.
Oh, where's the computer part? Is it separate now?
Yeah, the computer part is separate.
Oh, I've always thought of Apple as like the all-in-one kings for their desktops.
You buy the Studio starting right around $2,000, and then you have to buy the monitors separate, and that'll cost you 15, 16. I mean, I'm not even adding on Apple Care or tax yet,
or extra memory, or
right.
Wow.
But I know when I did add it up, I wanted to get the bare minimum, but good, like at least a terabyte. I was up near $5,000, $4,600. I was like, okay. So then you say, let's not get the 27-inch monitor. All right. But then you don't have a monitor.
Mm-hmm.
And myself, I think you should always have a monitor just for Aira.
You never know. And for certain things, like, if you don't have a monitor hooked up, they can't.
A Zoom.
I don't think they can see it. Yeah.
So it was interesting to just go in there and walk out. And I attribute that to my site not having a guide with me, like a kid or a parent or adopted kid. Just adopt a kid to help you around.
Did you go by yourself? I'm just curious.
No, the girls were going into these girl shops and they're looking for swimsuits and underwear and stuff. And I figured
they just dumped you at the Apple store.
I don't need to shop for a swimsuit.
I went into the Apple store. It's really nice, small. It's a one strip down. Well, they've added to it, but basically, if you've been there, it's easy to figure out. And the Apple store is always, you can just tell when you go in there.
It's the brightest.
Do you know one of their employees? It was their last day, and they were leaving. You know what they do while that happens? They start clapping.
They clap them out.
Yeah, they clap them out.
Oh,
it was really cool. I did not say, dude, ring it up. Come on, man. No, it was like clapping, and he went by, and a couple people ran up and gave him that big hug type of thing. You could just tell what was going on. And when he came by me, my guy went right around the table and, gave him the handshake, all that stuff. And you could just hear it happening as they came by you, and out the door they went. And my guy just goes, bye.
I wonder what his future is going to be.
I don't know, but they clap them out. It was just,
that's cool.
I've never been in a clap out. So I was there and it was
Did
really
you join?
Cool. I almost did. I wanted to.
You're like, I feel like I should. This is so like.
My hands were ready. I was in pre-clap motion, just like if the guy looked at me and gave me that look like, dude, come on.
Really?
You're here. Come on, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Just let it happen. You wouldn't believe how many Apple employees are there. Wow.
I'm sure they have a ton in the back.
Yeah.
Oh,
because there's always somebody that brings up the orders because they don't. Have you ever noticed when you get something other than like the accessory type stuff that you can just grab, they're always like, all right, well, we'll get it. And then it just magically appears by the salesperson.
Yeah. See, that's when I was groping the new Studio and then it appeared. So my time with the Studio was cut short, but probably for a good reason. But I was a little underwhelmed when I heard about that Studio and the monitor. I was like, that's going to be impressive. It wasn't. It was, but it's in a big store. It's not in your room. It's a big store. So it does look a little smaller. It was isolated. It looked like a monitor and that's all it is. And I've always seen Apple Macs, as the whole computer. So it was different to see this.
You're like, where's the rest of it?
I know.
So what does the actual shell look like? I guess the actual CPU and everything. I just can't imagine a sleek way that Apple would have been able to present it.
Well, you've heard of the Mac Minis, right?
They're just little Don't they look like Apple TVs, kind of?
Yeah, bigger than that.
Little pucks.
I believe, and I will have to check my notes on this one, but I believe it's like 2.5 of those.
Okay.
All the guts and glory are right in that box. Probably sits right behind it.
That just seems like it would not look as sleek. I'm surprised that they went that direction with it. You know what I mean?
The thing is, the device itself has all the connections, everything you need to do what, and I'm sure in your setting, your room and stuff like that, I'm sure it'll be fine. Because the keyboard, to me, looked like a full size that they had in there because it was long.
An actual 10 key on it for once.
Yeah. But I think when they do that, I think they only have 3 keys down after the spacebar to the left. I don't like that because then, they move the function over to the 6-pack type of deal. I don't like getting third-party keyboards that don't have the right, or they flip 2 of the VOs are flipped or something like that. I don't like that. I like the Apple keyboard. It's fine. And I'm talking to 2 PC people.
I was going to say, until you need to type numbers.
I've gotten used to that. That doesn't bother me. I do have a full-size Mac keyboard that plugs in if I want to use it, but then I have to reroute the keys down in the left hand, and I got so much muscle memory going for editing that, nah, I'm not going to do it. But I know other people that do it.
So I'm just laughing because I hear one of your animals jingling around, and Weston's in here dreaming and barking, and I don't know if you can hear him.
I can hear him. It's like, it sounds like Weston is like sleeping and he's having a dream and doing that dog thing. Oh my God, they're so adorable. And Jeffrey's jingling.
Your cat on your keyboard.
No, my cat.
He just kicked the cat out.
No, I opened the door. I forgot that the cat was sitting on my printer back there. I have a laser printer.
You didn't kick him, did you? We're going to call PETA.
I'm sitting in the chair. I can't kick around my desk like that. Cats, you may think what you want, but after a while, they kind of grow on you a little bit.
Never.
You're not a cat person, Serina?
Not at all.
Okay. This is Serena's truth.
We did babysit a little tiny dog. She was like 9. She was my sister-in-law's little dog and her husband's dog, and she's like 9 pounds, and she's I have to say it very carefully. I believe she's I can't even say it, a Shih Tzu Maltese mix. Okay. So cute, but she's such a princess. And our sister-in-law was like, she hurt her legs, you have to carry her up and down the stairs, and and it was fine because she's just so small. But then she'd be like, she has to be propped up on all these pillows for her to be comfortable, and she was fun to have in the house for a few days though.
Oh, she's a spoiled little princess.
Yes. She's 16 though. I was like, oh goodness, we need to take really good care of her right now.
Oh my God. You don't want her to die on your watch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm 16, anything could happen,
Don't scare her. Don't scare her.
Oh my gosh. I don't like little dogs. I'm just afraid I'll get out of bed or step on it and that will be the end of it.
They move really fast though. You'd be surprised. Because this one I was always like, where is she? And my husband was like, you see her one spot and then 2 seconds later she's way in the other part, and she didn't have any jingles on her. So I'm like, I don't know where she is. But her and my husband, he does not like small dogs either, but she bonded with him. They're best buds.
She warmed Charles's heart. Oh my gosh.
He claims that he's like, I still would never get a little dog. But I was like, she adored you.
We're going to have a new little story, a little book for kids, Pup and Chuck. I can see it now.
No, I love dogs, but my HOA, they have a weight limit, 30 pounds. That's what I'm thinking, man, if I qualify for a seeing eye dog, that goes out the window per the so I can get a dog, whatever size.
Yeah, because it's a service animal then.
Yeah, because
I've seen a lot of dogs coming out at 60 pounds max. They a smaller breed of
less than 60
lab.
pounds.
Yeah.
They try to keep them around 45 to 50 now, I believe.
Yeah, I've seen more and more come out at that lower weight. They used to be 65, 70.
Up to 90 for some of the males.
Yeah, and then I've seen some shepherds and stuff that are just like, whoa, dude.
Oh, I love shepherds.
It makes it really hard to use them on shepherd is hard to have for your first guide dog. I will tell you, because they use German shepherds, and not many schools use German shepherds anymore because they are so smart. Your lab is thinking, okay, there's a crosswalk right up there. I need to stop. Cool. The shepherd's thinking, okay, there's a crosswalk up there. I need to stop. Then over there, I see a fire hydrant. I'm going to have to go around that. And then over there, they are thinking like 5-6 steps ahead at all times. And if you make a mistake when you're handling them, they are not as forgiving as a lab. A lab will be like, cool, whatever, you made a mistake, I love you anyway. And a shepherd will like just hold it against you. And this is obviously generalizing, but that's part of the reason that they don't use shepherds as much anymore, because they're just a little bit more finicky about that kind of stuff.
The really nice thing about Labradors are if you have family or guests, typically a Labrador is like, hey, how's it going?
I love everyone.
Yeah, I love you too. I love you too. I love you too. Oh, lay down. Fine.
Exactly. Very complacent.
My daughter just got a Aussie Doodle. It's an Australian part shepherd, part poodle.
And poodle.
Yeah. And
that's going to be a very smart dog. That dog's going to need lots of exercise.
Yeah, 45 pounds. And I was with it for a week last week. I got it hand commands where I just point and it would come, it would sit, it would get a treat. I'm the treat master with dogs.
Wow. I didn't know how well trained the seeing eye dogs were. I came across a tweet by Dr. Amit Patel, Blind Dad UK, and he was talking about how he put his dog's food in the bowl, but the dog didn't eat because Dr. Patel forgot to blow the whistle 3 times.
Yeah, they're trained to not, they're supposed to wait. Like Weston does it when he wants to, because he's retired now, so I don't care.
That is
but
amazing.
They train them, and that's incredibly difficult for a lab to do, because labs are incredibly food motivated. Like they live to eat. Like that's their joy. So the way they were trained is you put their food down and make them sit, and then they can't go to it. And for the school I went to, the command was okay. And then they'd go and then they could eat it.
That is like amazing. I had no idea that was a part of the training
because think about it. If you go to a restaurant and kids drop food all over the floor and stuff like that, like they have to know that they can't go eating it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the purpose that serves.
Well, here's the thing. Logan is not retired, but he's basically is, because virtual, working from home, that type of thing. When I take him outside, which is quite a bit because I'm here and I'm the yard guy, which means I pick up poop. I said poop. Sorry, people. When I get to the top of the steps on the deck, it's only 4 steps down. He waits at the top because it's steps. He does not go first. He waits for me because it's steps, like warning me or,
Don't fall, Jeff.
No, it's always that delay at the steps. He went at the top, but I'm so used to it that I just do a pause and then I just use my hand like a little gesture and we go.
And he does that even out of harness?
Out of harness, yeah.
That's interesting. Wow.
Interesting.
I think he does it too, even more, because Lori, he's looking out for her too, so he says, well, I suppose I'll look out for him too or something. I'm not going to break him of it. I'm not going to shoo him or do anything. I just realize what he's doing. It's kind of like stopping at a curb.
Exactly.
And, yeah. So when we take him for a walk, when we come to a curb like a T and we come to the curb, he puts 2 paws up and give him a little treat. And then we turn. Some people don't believe in this treat type of stuff, but you would believe how well it works.
They'll do anything. Yeah. The only downside of it, which I did grow tired of it being someone who had to dress professionally each day, is when they're trained with the food rewards as a consistent to keep their work up, you have to carry treats with you. So I did find this really cool treat bag that actually looks really cute and is like leather, and it's super cute for when you wear dresses and stuff. But I would just use his dog food as it, and dog food doesn't smell the most pleasant.
That's what I use, little kibbles.
Yeah. Try cat food. That stuff, really.
I could see Callie out there opening up a can of cat food.
Oh my God. Cat food is the most disgusting smell. It's like...
No, I think dogs are really neat. And once you get the training bit down, and I think if anyone wants a dog, just remember you got to be around for the dog. And that's one of the most important things about people, even if you're not blind. And what are you listening to this podcast for, right? No. If you want any animal, it needs attention and you have to be around for it and stuff. But when you get a seeing eye dog, they're kind of pre-trained for that work period type of stuff and what they do and going out and coming back in. So it's a little different. But when you just get a regular dog that isn't trained for that, you have to be around it and really train it.
I put in an inquiry, and this is just an inquiry, with Southeastern guide dogs to see about the possibility of getting a guide dog. I'm not sure how it's going to go because, like I said, and I've told you guys in the past, my O&M skills are just horrific. I depend upon Aira way too much for like the simple things, but I'm going to see what happens.
Is that one of those things you're going to delve into it or something like that?
Delve into it? No, I didn't use the word delve this time. I actually inquired.
Okay, yeah. I was just checking. I was just seeing. So more than likely than a delve. More than likely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, if you hear me on the podcast say, "Oh, I'm going to delve into that app and check it out,"
no,
ain't going to
happen. You're going to say something, Serina?
Well, I was just going to say I can't speak for every single guide dog school, but I know when I applied for my very first one, they did test my O&M skills. They wanted to see, like, I can't remember. They visited in person and they had me do a walk with my cane to show that I could cross the street safely. It was very short. Like, I feel like the actual O&M part was maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did a Juno walk with me, which is very interesting.
It is.
Because they make you correct the Juno, which if you don't, for those who don't know, a Juno is, I don't even know how to describe what it looks like, but it simulates what it would be like walking with a dog in harness. And the instructor's just holding one part of this like weird looking thing and you're walking around and they want to see, like, are you going to be able, if the dog goes off to the left and starts sniffing, are you going to notice and correct them, that sort of thing. And then and this could be more slack just depending on your lifestyle, but then they also want you to identify usually 2 places that are, I can't remember if it's a half mile at least away from your house that you would go to daily with the dog. Every school is a little bit different, but they do ask those kinds of questions, just so you know.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'll qualify because like I'm not working and my mailbox is only like a quarter of a mile away, but we could do laps around my development though, to take daily walks, Well,
and they told me that like that could be a possibility. You could just make it where it appears that there's a destination. Because some dogs get frustrated if they're just going in a circle and never really get there, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They like to feel that they're accomplishing something, if that makes sense. Because at least that's what they had told me when I was first applying for a guide dog. They said it could be that you create a destination along that route. Maybe it's that you sit at a certain bench for a little while or go to a park.
All those animals on the merry-go-round must be driven crazy.
Oh, goodness.
Wow, I never thought of it that way.
Well, I think the pole in the middle of their torso is probably making them more upset.
Fine. Wreck it for me.
Oh my gosh. Well, I may not be a good candidate, but I'll see. And, if worse comes to worse, I'm going to get a pet dog, but I just want a dog. I was hoping for a guide dog, though, to help me because like I do have issues with my O&M and probably having a guide dog is not the best situation if I'm having problems with my O&M. So
I don't want to speak for any of the guide dog schools, but they do have a variety to draw from. They may not give you the perfect one for someone going to college and stuff and is going to be going all over the place, and they give them these fast dogs. But they have dogs that are returned. They have dogs that don't make the cut for a minor reason. So you might not get the world's greatest one,
adopt them,
but you might get one that is going to be just perfect for you because your expectations from it is not going to be, well, you got to go to campus, then you got to go here, then you got to go there. They match the dog for you and what kind of activity, what kind of walker you are, what kind of traveler you are, what the expectations. They've been doing it for so many years. They know how to match up dogs to the person pretty well. And in your situation, they might, in the back of their head, they'll be thinking, Phoebe, or, something. Nothing against any Phoebes out there. I didn't call you a dog.
The only thing that I'm fairly certain is non-negotiable is you will have to be able to successfully do street crossings.
Yeah.
The dog cannot. The dog will keep you straight on street crossings for sure, but it will by no means cue you as to when to go.
However, dog schools will train you mobility as well. So if you need some work on that, they'll take you out and work on the street crossings.
Well, when I checked out this particular school's website, they said that your orientation mobility skills need to already be intact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every school is a little bit different. I can't remember if GDB, Guide Dogs for the Blind, does the O&M or not. I feel like Leader Dogs does, where it's like a separate thing altogether. And where you can go and work on the O&M skills to get prepared to get a guide dog.
Maybe I won't qualify because I am terrified. And I just mean terrified of doing a street crossing. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that.
Just don't delve into it. Go in it with a little bit of,
I feel like I already know what's going to be in the title of delving into some technology news today.
Not really. That's what is going to be the title. Oh my God. And we didn't cover a lot of stuff. We still got stuff to do. We got the Xfinity Stream. That's huge, I think.
That I'm kind of excited about. Like the Xfinity Stream app coming to Apple TV. I'm kind of curious if they will have like a plan where it's stream only instead of having like an actual full-on cable subscription where it's like, if I just want to just have exclusively, I just want to use stream. Like how that would work. Like, I think that could be something really cool.
Yeah. Right now, at least according to the article, they said you have to have your typical cable package.
Yeah.
If I still had cable, I would be on top of this. Because one of the reasons I dropped cable after I lost my vision was the price, which included $20 for the main. Ooh, I'm sorry. Jeff, you're going to have to start over again. I'm sorry. One of the
Blind Abilities. I'm Jeff.
No. One of the reasons I left Xfinity was the price, but I was paying $20 for the X1 box, and then the secondary box in the bedroom was an additional $7 a month. And then the router was $19.99 a month. So I was paying like $47 in just equipment. And then there was a sports broadcasting fee for ESPN and whatever those sport, which I never watched, which were $12 and some change. So a lot of my package was things that I didn't really need. So having the stream, maybe I would have like stuck around for, because I do miss cable. Even though I have all these different streaming apps, which we'll talk about later. I've dropped some and I've gone back to another, but I do miss cable, because one of the advantages of cable, and I'm not sure about you, Serina or Jeff, one of the things I find frustrating with the streaming app sometimes, I don't know what I want to watch when I log onto an app. And I spend a lot of time clicking, and you have to like wait for VoiceOver to read to tell you what it is. And then like you go, when you get to Netflix, the most watch is like 75 things on that row, and you're like going through it. And it's like, oh my God. One of the things I really liked about cable is just stumbling upon something. You turn on the television, you flip around, and I'm going to settle here. And then that's what you do, or when you surprise yourself, because I'm not sure if you guys are like me. There's some movies where if I flip to it, I'm sitting down and stopping whatever it is that I'm doing, and I'm going to watch this movie. I mean, there are three for me. There's Big, there's Breakfast Club, and there's Shawshank Redemption. Whenever I flipped around and I had cable and any of those movies popped up, it was game over. And I would just sit down and do that.
The thing I like about the Stream app is it's handy.
Yes.
You get most of the features there. The thing I don't like about it is when you go into a show and then come back out of it, and then you have to go down the list again. It's not the same experience, especially with the X1, the remote. I just haven't spent enough time on the app. What we're talking about is from Comcast. They have the Stream app. But it works pretty good. Every once in a while, I'll be on vacation. I want to pull it up, and it'll say, "You must be in your house for this one." It's like, oh. Yeah.
Well, and I wanted to mention a couple of things, because Callie, you were talking about all the different charges you were getting on the Xfinity bill. And I'm not sure if a lot of people realize this, but if you have a disability that requires use of the X1 box, which to my knowledge is their only accessible box, they have to waive that $20 fee for the X1 box, like legally. So if you're paying the fee for the X1 box, call them up and make sure they know you have a disability, and they waive that fee. And then the router fee, I never recommend that anyone quote unquote rent the router from Comcast, because $20 a month, like you could have bought your like several times over, and they're not even good equipment. Like the one you're renting is not that great. And a lot of people don't realize this. You know how when you go places and it's like, here's your Xfinity hotspot. Well, those are created by everyone renting the Comcast equipment. So if you have that gateway device in your house, like that's essentially creating a hotspot in your neighborhood that other people who have Xfinity can technically tap into.
Those kids in the tree fort next door, they're using your Xfinity.
I do know about the hotspot thing, and I definitely did go in and I turned that off. And I know I could have bought, several routers, high-end routers with what I've been paying for this router that I have. But one of the reasons I keep it is because I can't see. And with the Xfinity app, it can be refreshed, or if I have technical support, there's someone that I can call. And, they will also send a replacement if something is not working with it. So that's one of the reasons why I am still keeping it, because of my disability. And there's no one sighted in my household. Charlie can see, but I don't think she can, I don't think she can go over there and help me with anything. So that's the reason why I am keeping it, and I am paying the $19.99, but I got that down to $9.99 because they had me on some kind of like super high speed plan. I'm like, dude, I don't need all of that, because when I spoke with my IT guy at work, he said, well, in order to stream Netflix or any stream, you just need 5 gigabytes. And I'm like, okay. So I lowered my tier to 25, and that's where I am right now. Because before they had me at like their super high speed, I'm like, it's just only one person here. I don't need all of this.
I do have to admit that once Comcast has you roped in and you are using their router, their equipment, that's fine. But when they find out that you are not using their stuff, it's like, oh, could you give us the MAC number off the back of the thing? The what? The serial number, the MAC number. Then what's that? This. Okay, now the serial number. It should start with a WSJ.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, I'm visually impaired. Just a second. I yell for my kids,
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just going to call it my disability tax I'm paying by keeping the router. I know I can purchase a router outright for what I've been paying to Comcast, but for me, it's worth it not to have the hassle.
Well, the other cool thing that Comcast does is the Internet Essentials thing. And I don't remember what qualifies for it. I can't remember if it's SSI or SSDI, if that gets it.
It's SSI. Yeah, I don't qualify for it. I did look into that. I don't qualify for it.
Yeah, because it's like $20 a month. Yeah.
Yeah, I get those emails all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, you might qualify for.
Yeah, right now I'm paying $73.98, and that's just for internet only. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it is what it is. And I do need the internet service. Internet service nowadays is like electricity back in the olden times. Olden times,
It's not like you got an outhouse out back next to the cow pasture, right?
No.
We ain't going back to that one.
Yeah. I can remember, a couple of decades ago, people like wanting to cut, do their budgets, like what to cut out. And I'm like, just cut your internet. And like nowadays, I couldn't even fathom cutting internet.
I saw a meme or something like that. A meme. I said it right.
Yeah.
You did have to stop.
I did stop because I was cautious.
Because you knew we would make fun of you.
Both of you have these clubs that just want to whack-a-mole me a couple times or something. I saw this one and it said, if you want to use the bathroom and someone's in there, just shut the internet off.
Yep. I saw that.
Wait, what is the meme?
If somebody's in the bathroom and you're trying to use it like at home, just shut the Wi-Fi off. They'll come out.
Why? I'm missing the joke.
Okay, so...
Oh, people go in there, sit on their iPhone, and they just...
While they're using the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you want more family time with the kids, you haven't seen them for a while and stuff, just sit in the living room and shut off internet for a little bit.
They'll all come.
Yeah, they'll all come slowly, one from all directions. Hey.
Oh, they're just switched to cellular. What's wrong?
Usually it's iPads that they're on though when they're home.
Yeah.
Okay. Because whenever my internet goes out, I just 5G is what happens. The only time I know my internet is out is when I ask Alexa or one of my other smart devices something, and it says, "We can't connect to the internet." And then that's I'm like, "Oh, okay, internet is out."
Have any of you had this happen when you're at home, you're on your Wi-Fi, but you're checking out something on the web, and you get this click, 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 like it's still loading in the background, lots of other stuff or another?
PCs don't do that, Jeff.
Well, no, I'm talking about on the iPhone.
Oh, yes. No, I have my sounds off. So if it is doing it, then I don't know. Like I turned off the voiceover sounds.
Wait, you can turn off the voice? What do you mean, Serina?
So like, the clickies and stuff, like when you swipe and it does the little click and the loading sounds, I turn those off because they get on my nerves.
Oh, okay. So when you're swiping on your home screen, you don't hear the click, 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 click.
And if you really want to get rid of that, take it out of your router because you can toggle your rotor to sounds and you can turn them on or off. And if you don't have that option, you can go into your settings and go to accessibility, voiceover, and go down to rotor, and you can add it to it or take it away. If you don't want them, I would say take it away, because then you have less things on your rotor. And the more less things I have, that sounds weird. The more
less things
the
I
more
have?
less things. I don't even know what you're trying to say.
The lesser things that you have on your rotor list. Like, you ever get into your rotor and you go one direction, you go, I should have went the other way.
Yeah, but you're already committed then.
I know. Yeah. So you speed it up. You just go faster. I'm just looking for words, not lines.
And I have mine set to be on words like by default, but it never sticks to it. It always changes to characters, and it's annoying.
So I do have a question about that. Is there a way to actually like put in order the way you want things to appear in your word on your rotor? Okay, I had no idea, because like when I'm like
on the rotor settings,
move it to the top. Yep. So I have it go character, words, lines, that type of thing. Here's a quick demo of going into your rotor and organizing your actions, either the ones you selected or the ones you haven't. Let's try it. First, we'll go into settings.
Settings, one new item.
Single finger double tap.
Settings.
Then we'll go down to accessibility.
Accessibility, button.
Single finger double tap.
Voiceover, on, button.
We'll go into voiceover, single finger double tap.
Voiceover, on.
And down to rotor.
Rotor, button.
Single finger double tap.
Selected, characters.
Now, by swiping to the right, you'll see that I will have characters, words, lines, and so forth. If you hear the word selected, that means it's going to be in my rotor. If you don't hear the word selected, that means I have the option of single finger double tapping on it and putting it in my rotor, or just leaving it out. So I'm on characters right now, so I'm going to single finger swipe to the right.
Reorder characters, button, draggable.
Now I'm going to keep single finger swiping to the right so you can see which actions that I have at the top of my list.
Selected, words. Reorder words, button, draggable. Selected, lines. Reorder lines, button, draggable. Selected, text selection. Reorder text selection, button, draggable. Selected, speaking rate. Reorder speaking rate, button, draggable. Selected, volume. Reorder volume, button, draggable. Audio ducking. Reorder audio ducking, button, draggable.
So you notice it says draggable. That means if I do a single finger double tap and hold, and then slide my finger up or down, I can move this specific action up or down. And when I let go of my finger, that action shall remain. So let's explore this. I'm just going to move it around. And this is with my index finger after a single finger double tap and hold, and just sliding it up the list or down the list.
Move to low punctuation, move to low sound, move to low hints, move to low language, move above, move above, move above, move above, move above volume, move above speaking rate, move above text selection, move above lines, move to low punctuation, move to low sounds.
Find the location that you want that action to reside in the list and lift your finger, and that's it. Now remember, you may have 32 of these actions selected, but only the actions that are particular to the page that you are on will show up. So in other words, if you're on a page with no tables, your actions for tables will not show up, that type of thing. So go ahead, organize that rotor, and make your rotor experience be a little bit more efficient the next time you use it. Hope you enjoyed.
Do you guys have headings, links, all that other stuff? Like, I'm just curious what other people have in their rotors.
I have headings in mine.
I have links now because it's so hard, like in a Twitter feed.
I do have links too.
Yeah, or in a message if you want to get to it. It's easier if you just switch it to it and then swipe, because it'll go right to the link.
I have text selection in mine because I do that a lot.
I love that. When I redid my phone, text selection was gone, and I looked like an idiot out there in the real world.
Were you trying to copy and paste things?
Yeah. Just a second. And it's like, oh, where is that thing? I just want to, oh.
You're like, am I not on a text area? What happened? Like,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So when you upgrade, or if you're doing betas or something, or if you have to reboot because your beta bricked your phone, when you come back.
Who did that happen to?
I don't know. I read about it. I'll have to go listen to the last podcast or two. But yeah, that's certain little things like that really are quirks that you don't think about. And I didn't think I had to put text selection back into my rotor.
You would think that'd be a one because that's a super powerful feature, the text selection.
Oh, yeah. I was like miserable for a couple days.
What do you guys use text selection for? I think I have way too many things in my rotor, and I have to like look into that.
Say you want to capture someone's address and they sent you a thing, hey, my address is blah, 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 blah. You can start out right at the beginning in text selection like line or words and just swipe, capture it, copy it, and then paste it like into Uber or something.
So you can move by character or word to the beginning of where you want to start selecting, and then go to text selection and say either word or line or page even. And then you can just copy. It's a more accessible way to do copy and paste because copy and paste. I was like, wait.
Like sighted people can.
I don't even know how we used to do it before. I think it was hit or miss before. It was rough.
Because right now, think if I want to copy and paste, like I double tap and hold and it says.
Oh, yeah, this is more precise. So like if you just wanted to copy like 1, 2, 3, 4 in that address for whatever reason, you could instead of everything that's right there.
Oh, okay.
It's awesome.
I use it all the time, especially if I want someone's name to be accurate. I'll just go, select their name
for their
and then
contact.
I'll paste it into, like on this thing for Humanware, Rachel Feinberg. I thought, okay, I'm just going to grab that. I didn't want to learn how to spell everything. Stuff like that.
Another trick for copying things, and I use this one a lot if I'm just going to copy the whole thing that it said, is you can have it copy the last thing that VoiceOver verbalized, minus like, the VoiceOver hints. It won't copy that by doing a 4-finger triple tap.
Quadruple.
Is that right?
A 3-finger quadruple tap.
Quadruple. I just do it naturally. Is it a 3-finger quadruple tap?
Yeah, this is an example of muscle memory winning over what you really think you're doing. But it is a 3-finger quadruple tap. And if you only do it 2 times, it'll shut off speech. If you do it 3 times, it'll turn on the screen curtain.
Yeah, then you got to start 3-finger quadruple tap. And it'll copy the last thing that VoiceOver said.
If I have an article that comes in, I'll go to the article, I'll go to the title, I'll touch the title, it'll read the title, I'll do the 3-finger quadruple tap. That copies it. I go to our show notes, I paste it there, then I go back and I go grab the link and I make it hyperactive. And yeah. So
hyperactive.
Hyperlink.
I've used it when people have sent phone numbers in like an email and I want to create a contact with that phone number because ironically just tapping and holding on it, you can either call or that's it. So I've copied it after it said it and then went to create a contact with that number because numbers are a little harder to keep in your head. So,
Oh, that's an excellent tip because I hate that when I get somebody's phone number and they're not in my contacts, but I want to create a contact with it. It would be great if you could just double tap and hold and the dialogue box would pop and say, do you want to create a contact with this number? But it's not there.
It's usually just call.
Yeah.
Hey, try this. I'll read the title here.
Humanware announces the stellar trend.
Now I'll do a 3-finger quadruple tap. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Breaking news. Humanware announces the stellar track GPS device. Still in beta. Price unknown. Copy to clipboard.
Yep. It is 3-finger quadruple, but it doesn't copy that list item thing.
No, it does. It used to.
It doesn't. Did it?
It used to carry like heading. It used
The
to
title,
do the heading. It used to do, what do they call that? Markup?
Kind of the attributes.
Yeah. But now it's really good because it drops everything else.
He can then go and paste that wherever he wants.
Yeah, because I did hear it was copied to clipboard. So
yeah. So that's what I do. That now I would bring that into my Mac and boom, paste it into the show notes.
Okay, these are definitely 2 tips that I will take a look at and actually use.
And I'll never say hyperactive again.
And actually use. Thank you guys so much.
Serina, have a great time at the concert, rain or shine.
Yes, pray for just sprinkles.
Sprinkles. And Callie,
Jeffy T.
you have the great west of your week.
Whoa.
Silly wabbit.
You silly wabbit. I was going to say that.
You have a great rest of your week.
I shall.
And then cue our funky music, right?
And for more podcasts with the Blind News Perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities, and give us a call at 612-367-6093. Leave us a message and let us know if we can put your voice on the next podcast. Drop us an email at info@blindabilities.com and download the free Blind Abilities app from the App Store and Google Play Store. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities. And from all of us here at Blind Abilities, through these challenging times, to you, your family, and friends, stay well, stay informed, and stay strong. I want to thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, bye-bye.
When we share
what we see
through each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap between
the limited expectations and the reality of blind abilities.
The realities of blind
abilities.
For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities, download our app from the App Store, blindabilities, that's 2 words, or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Thanks for listening.